the office to the right there, Penny. Are we? Okay.
As I'm told, we're live.
Okay, we're on. So we're going to start it even though the screens aren't showing it. We are on. So welcome everyone. This is our March 19th, 2025 Fiscal Court work session, and I would like to invite everybody to please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And I was looking for Father Peter, but it doesn't look like he's here tonight. So we're going to keep moving. I'm going to ask, is there any public comments? Anybody would like to come to the podium and address the court? Okay. Please state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Richard Rosen. It won't take 3 minutes. You are now in the process of looking at the budgets for this coming year, figuring out where money is going to be allocated and where it's not going to be allocated. All I would ask is that all of you think of this in terms of though you were running a business, because you are, and you might have one request that's important in its way, another request that's also important in its way, but think about in terms of what's going to give our county a return on investment, okay? You might spend $20,000 on this project, and that's all well and good. This other project, you might spend $20,000. That's well and good, but this project, over time, is going to pay itself back. And so I ask you to be alert and aware of these different requests, not just what are they asking for, but what are they going to return. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments from the audience? Seeing none, we're going to move on to Josephine Sculpture Park, and I believe Melanie Van Houten is with us. Good evening, Mel.
Good evening. Thank you all for having me come present again this year to give you an update on the work we've done over the past year with your support and some plans we have for this year coming up. And I believe you each got our impact report and our Arts Downtown brochure and our Sculpture Park brochure. Those are all, gives you more information than what I'll spend all the time on this evening. So let's go to the next slide. As you all know, I assume somebody else does that.
Hey,
Andy has
Greg's
always
doing
done it. Okay. As you all know, the Sculpture Park is in the county, and we are free and open every single day of the year from dawn until dusk. We serve a variety of people from the community. We also have about 30,000 visitors a year who are from all over the state, all across the region. Through our Arts Downtown exhibition, we serve another around 100,000 people that get to experience art where they live, work, and play. For those folks who maybe can't make it out to the Sculpture Park, because we are out in the county a little bit. The sculptures at the Sculpture Park are great for people of all ages and all abilities because they are hands-on. You can really learn a lot about art by getting engaged with it in a tactile kind of way, and that's different than most other arts organizations around the world, actually. So we are a nonprofit organization, and we are a donor-supported park. So most of our funding comes from individuals, and we receive some grant funding at the federal level, the state level, the city level, and from the county, as well as from private foundations, and a handful of ticketed events, and our new membership campaign. So we have a really diverse funding stream. This is a select number of our partner organizations. There are a whole lot more than this, but the font was getting real small. So this is a select number of amazing organizations in this community, around the region, around the nation, and international organizations that we're a part of and that we provide services to and partner with to bring programming and artists right here to Franklin County, which is tremendous, I must say. Okay, we can go to the next slide, please. As you know, the Sculpture Park really stands on three main pillars. That's art, nature, and community. And without any one of those three things, we wouldn't be the same park. We wouldn't be who we are. As part of our nature programming, we offer 3 acres of restored native meadows. That's an ongoing process. 10 acres of reforested habitat, and we provide ongoing invasive species management throughout the year, and that's really to improve the natural wildlife habitat. So we have a variety of wild critters that you can come across anytime you're out there. The Bluebird Trail is a citizen science project that we partner with Wild Birds Unlimited and Bluebirds of Central Kentucky, and we have 12 nesting boxes around the Sculpture Park that are homes to bluebirds and other native bird species as well, and those are monitored weekly by volunteers, which is another amazing program. And if anybody's interested, actually, this Saturday is our volunteer training program to monitor those bluebird houses with Kristen from Wild Birds. So if you're interested, you can go to the website and find out how to sign up for that. As I said, we host lots of field trips. We had 4 school buses at the park yesterday. It was a big day. It is field trip season. We usually have around 35, sometimes more. We're really working to build the field trip program this year and hope to be able to offer field trips to even more students in the fall. So we're really working to expand that program. We have arts-based field trips, nature-based field trips, and kind of everything in between. We've had groups come out from Thornhill who were creative writing classes who wanted to have something interesting to look at so that they could write about something interesting to look at. So we really serve a lot of different kinds of students in the community, as well as creative aging populations. So we have field trips that are geared towards folks with limited mobility as well. We can keep moving. The Artist in Residence program, last year, since a lot of this is kind of giving you numbers from last year and then we'll move into what we're planning this year. But the residency program is really our signature program, and we took about 1.5 years to assess that program. The impact of it, was it serving the artist and the community in the way that it could be its best, and we're really excited to be relaunching this program. So one of our former artists in residence, Peyton Scott Russell, who built Graphology Hinge, will be back this year to have a graffiti writing workshop on the sculpture, which that is the sculpture that you can paint on, and people come paint on it all the time. So we'll be he'll be here this year, and then we have an open call right now for artists in residence that will be in residence in 2026. Okay, next slide. Symphonic Stroll was yet another record breaker. We sold out. We kept bumping the tickets up because we kept selling out and people kept showing up. So we ended up with almost 900 tickets sold. We had 50 volunteers, attendees from at least 40 Kentucky cities. 7 Central Kentucky businesses were supported. 3 nonprofits partnered to pull this off. 5 ensembles, those are from the Lexington Philharmonic, with 6 featured sculptures, 17 musicians, and amazing countless memories all across the Sculpture Park. If you haven't been, please plan to come this year. It'll be in September. The date's on the website. We'll keep moving. Joyful is our year-end gratitude gathering. We've done this for the past couple years. It happens in December every year. It's a free family event, really just to celebrate all the amazing work that we have done and to thank our volunteers, our staff, the families that come out, the kids that participate. We have the night sky tour, there's bonfires, fire dancing, a DJ, community art making. It's just a really fun event. So we look forward to doing that every year, and we've got some already planning for 2025, I must say, but we'll keep going. So our art in public places mostly is Arts Downtown. There are a handful of other sites at Esprit Credit Union and West 6 Farm, but our Arts Downtown exhibit really is the focus of that, and we partner with the City of Frankfort and tourism to have this rotating exhibition every 2 years. So the sculptures that are up now will be rotating out in the fall. Can you go back one? The other way. Yes. No, okay, you can go to Floral River. We'll go to the next slide. Okay. Last year, we were honored to be able to commission this work by Xavier Cortada for the Transit Center. That was an amazing project. He's been a tremendous artist to work with, and the really great thing about working with him is that he also hired local artists to participate in the creation of the artwork. So we were able to, pay those artists as well and have it be local, local artists involved in the artwork. And I think it's amazing. And the view, I didn't think about how you would see it when the other buildings were gone. I mean, who would think about that? I didn't, but it's really amazing now to see it lit at night especially. I think it's like a jewel. So we'll keep moving. March Madness is also membership month at the Josephine Sculpture Park. So as I say, the park is free and open every day of the year from dawn until dusk, but we do have a lot of programs. We have workshops, we have music concerts, exhibitions. This year, our membership program is more robust than it's ever been, and we're offering special events just to members, as well as discounts, and there's a reciprocal museum discount, which also gets you 10% off at Completely Kentucky, which serves as our satellite gift shop. Thanks, Completely Kentucky. But check out the membership. It's a great way to support the park and also get a little something back. And it's, as I said, there's a lot of new perks and benefits this year, so check it out. We'll go to the next one. So this is really new. We are super excited about this upcoming exhibition by Linda Bruckheimer. We worked with Linda for about a year to, you might say, how are you going to have a photography exhibition outside at the sculpture park? I approached Linda a couple years ago about printing her photographs large scale on metal panels. And so we're going to have an exhibition of 10 farmscapes by Linda on the exterior of our tobacco barn, which is our event venue. And she'll be here at the opening on May 9th, and we're super excited about that. That is a member's benefit to be able to come to the opening and meet Linda. So we're excited. That'll be a 2-year exhibition, and we hope that that tobacco barn in this kind of format will enable us to be able to work with artists that work in 2 dimensions, and so that we can expand the artists that we work with and the exhibitions that we offer the community. So we'll go to the next one. Yes. Linda Bruckheimer is an amazing internationally recognized photographer. She also happens to be the wife of Jerry Bruckheimer, the filmmaker. Yeah. She is also a preservationist, yes, historic preservationist. Can you go back one? I think we skipped, or did you, yes, Soundscape, okay. So Linda's exhibition is in May. Barn Raisin is June 8th, sorry. Barn Raisin is June 8th. This is our annual fundraising event. It happens to be fabulous. A lot of you here have been to it. I can say that because I don't really plan it. My amazing staff does, and I'm bragging on them. It's a dinner, farm-to-table dinner. Corn Maze String Band will be playing the music this year. It's a curated auction of mission-centered experiences and auction items, and it's just really is a whole lot of fun. And of course, Linda's photographs will be at the barn as well, so I hope to see you all there. Next one. So we're bringing back Soundscape. Who remembers Soundscape? Some of you do, thank you. Yes, it's a music and art festival. This will be returning this year. So in July, we will have Appalachian, who I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. They're making amazing Kentucky musicians that are from Latin America and Appalachia. We'll also have art making at this festival, which is, of course, a cornerstone of everything that we do. Keep going. I mentioned Symphonic Stroll already. That is scheduled to happen again in September. Our partnership with the Lexington Philharmonic. This brings people from all over the state. It is amazing for Frankfort and Franklin County and our organization, as well as Lexington Philharmonic. So it's a great opportunity to experience symphonic music in a different atmosphere. So we have 6 or 7 ensembles throughout the sculpture park, and you can roam through. They're at different sculptures. It's very informal, but a beautiful, wonderful experience. So check that out if you haven't been. Next one. That's it. Was that 10 minutes?
Pretty darn close.
Pretty close. Okay, I might have gone over a little bit, but I want to thank you all. And, I did bring postcards for Barn Raisin also, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anybody
you may
Any
have.
questions for Mel? Mel, I just want to say thank you. You know, when she approached me about coming in, I told her one thing I appreciate about her is that, you know, we do help give them some money throughout the year, but she comes here on her own to give us updates of how the sculpture park's doing. And I know personally, I really appreciate that. So it's not just you're here with your hand out, you're giving us updates of the cool things you're doing for our community. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep. Any questions for Mel?
Can I ask one?
You sure, microphone please.
Your natural grass meadow? Mm-hmm. Is that all that natural grasses? I'm calling it grass, you call it meadow, so I don't know the difference, so you need to maybe tell me.
So we have 3 Kentucky native wildflower meadows throughout the park. Yeah, they do have grasses in them too. Kentucky native grasses, they're summer grasses. I think there's about 30 different species of native wildflowers and grasses that were sown into those meadows. Of course, there's stuff that will come into them on their own, on its own as well. But we worked with Roundstone Native Seed Company, who specialize in native seed in this region, so they told us what we should plant there. And
Is that in Kentucky? Is that seed company in Kentucky?
Mhm.
Then down south and
you know, I've never physically been there.
somewhere down
They're
there?
towards western Kentucky, southwestern Kentucky.
Yeah,
thank
they
you.
come see us, which is really nice. I have not had to go see them, but, yeah, and then the meadows, we're scheduled to do, a prescribed burn on the meadows this coming year, which is part of the maintenance of them, and it helps to keep the woody stuff out so that, and the invasive stuff
Is
out.
that burned chemical or natural fire?
Fire. Yep. It's pretty exciting.
Squire Wisman.
Yep.
Now, I wonder, it just made me think, have you done an actual economic impact study of the numbers and the amount spent of all the folks coming in? I'm just having to think that with Penny's economic development group coming in and focusing on that aspect, I'd really love to see sort of the nuts and bolts of how impactful it is, because I suspect that it's more than we even realize.
I know that to be true. The Kentucky Arts Council does provide some economic impact for us, and Penny and I have had conversations about doing that kind of study and utilizing some numbers that exist to be able to get some more data kind of numbers. Yeah, and I'll share that stuff with you when I get it. Yeah.
Mel, thank you very much.
Thank you
Have a good
all.
night.
I'm gonna pass these around.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep, have at it.
Let's give everybody a few, and then you can share them.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All righty, next I believe we have Mr. Duke Wilburn, our road superintendent with us. Good evening, Duke. How are you doing?
Good evening, I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Just want to give you a short report of what the road department employees been up to the last couple of weeks. We're still working, well, they've made it across the county and just about touched every culvert in the county, which is a few hundred. But they've got that completed and now they're working on rehabbing some ditch lines and that sort of thing, so it's just from all the flood damage, so it's just quite a bit of work. I will tell you that I talked to Albert Kinman from HG Mays Tuesday. He said they'll start blacktopping the 31st, so.
Duke, could you go ahead and send us a list of the roads that H.E. Mays has contracted right now in Franklin
Yes, sir.
County they're going to work on so the court can know?
I sure will.
Thank you.
You'll probably see in front of you, a new abstract for the fuel tanks. We sent it back to them and asked them to change the verbiage for any litigation, and they were happy to do that. But they did have something, they forgot to put the electric. All the electric work for the fuel tanks, they failed to put that in their bid, as well as the rooms for their employees that's gonna be here a couple days. So it's an additional charge of $4,374.12. That being said, I mean, they're still by far
Yeah.
the cheapest, so.
And we did talk about this in
just-
the road committee meeting, it's unfortunate, but to Duke's point, in order, to not accept this, we'd have to, cancel the bids, put it back out for bid, and now everyone knows what all the other bids are, so.
Yeah.
I think it's just,
And then
you
with the
did
steel
negotiate down a
tariffs
little
and
bit.
stuff, the steel tariffs and that sort of thing, it's no telling what would happen, so.
So I will say, I will need a member of the court, once we get into the voting session, to amend the agenda so we can vote on that item. Squire Wisdom.
Couple of questions, of course.
Uh-huh.
Duke, I'm assuming that is the final item on this,
Number 10.
the electrical 3850.
Oh, I'm sorry.
At the very bottom of the.
Yes, sir.
It's conduit switches and permits, and then the remaining balance is the hotel rooms between that and the
And some mileage, I think,
figure
for,
that's here.
yeah.
Is that in part of this? Is that listed specifically?
I'm sorry.
Is that listed specifically in their quote, or
It is.
I didn't see that?
It's,
$1,212.08.
yeah,
Right above
So is that inclusive of the rooms and mileage and?
mileage service truck.
right. It's a little cheaper than those two items right there. But it's, like I said, the difference is $4,374.
And then my question, I guess, is to our county attorney, can we legally proceed without rebidding with that big of a change?
Is this the one that we actually got off the state's list?
Yeah, this is through, Sourcewell. Yeah.
So this came off the
State contract.
procurement list. I think didn't we initially put bids out?
We did, and
Nobody bid,
that's correct.
and then we went onto the state's master list.
That
and
is
pulled
correct.
this provider off of the state's master list.
That is correct. And we
so
got
this is
three
I guess
quotes.
is the state price.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Were all three quotes from the state list
Yes.
at that point, so we can?
Yeah.
Squire Sebastian.
I thought that's how it
Oh,
went.
sorry.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep.
Mr. Road Supervisor, I just wanted to thank the crews. They've been out doing some patchwork, and I know that's been really hard to do with the weather going up and down,
Right.
and everybody needs it in their district, because there are some potholes that'll swallow a smart car for
One
sure
that
out
drove
there.
too bad.
Absolutely, they are that big, so,
And
Thank
we
you.
have made it across the county
yep, thank you so
at least
much.
once patching, so.
I just thanking you for, you can't speak for everybody else, but
Yeah.
I can thank you for mine. Thank you.
Squire Wisdom.
Duke, just wondered if we've had any communication much from the state about some of their priorities. We've got some bridges that have washed and some ditches that are full and causing water to go, but they're all state highways. I wonder if they ever communicate priorities to you, or
No, not
Okay.
much.
I've made a few phone calls already. I'll follow up some more then. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Duke? Duke, I just want to say thank you. I know it was a long winter for you and the crew down there. Y'all did an amazing job. Still getting compliments from everything. And Squire Sebastian's point, I mean, you all are, you're ahead of things. For many years, we stopped cleaning culverts and stopped ditching, and it's caused a lot of problems. So I appreciate you all taking that on, and it seems like you have a great crew down there, so we appreciate it. Squire Tanner, did you have a hand up?
Yes, I did. I want to make sure I understand when Mr. Kinman told you he was gonna start making blacktop again.
The 31st.
The 31st. Is our roads on the priority list, or is left
They
over
are.
from
He's
last year?
actually-
So they're gonna be first ones done?
That's what he told me. He's gonna start on our roads 31st.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to make sure we were on a pretty high priority list, because we should have got it done last fall.
We are, and he apologized for last fall. He's, they got tied up out here on the interstate, and the big job, so kind of put us back a little, but we're fine. We needed a little time anyway to do some ditching and stuff, so we're good.
Duke, thank you very much. And please tell everybody we said thank you.
Sure will.
Alrighty, next we're going to move on to my judge's report. Let's see what we have. On February 27th, I was televised on the National Fox Weather Show. So there I am right there. So that was kind of cool. So they found us just because of all the weather we were having. So we did that. On the 28th, I had a Frankfurt Plant Board taping. That went well as always. I appreciate everything they do for our community and kind of getting our story out. So that's always a good time when I go there. On March 1st, it was a very, very cool thing. They did a children's business fair at the KSU farm. I can't say enough good things about it. There was about 30 kids that participated. They made their own crafts, and they had to turn paperwork in as part of the process with a business plan, strategy, pricing, and the parents were not allowed to help them at all. The kids had to do it. And so my comment was, most adults should have to do this, so that want to start a business. So I think that will only grow bigger and better next year. We had a meeting, Amy and I, our treasurer, with Keith Brock with Compass Municipality. That went well. And then we had the Frankfurt Chamber Day at the Capitol. There's myself there, so a couple of you all were there. Legislators came in and out throughout the morning, so that was a nice event that was held up on the Capitol. We also I had a meeting with the Family Learning Center, the NCFL, just to talk about some goals and maybe another action plan, so that was a good thing. On the 11th, a lot of us in this room went to the Governor's Prayer Breakfast, and Wandale Robinson was the guest there, and there's the governor. Very well attended. It was at Kentucky State University Exum Center. We always appreciate them letting the community in for that event, so very, very good event. On the 11th, I actually went out to the Capital City Airport. I heard they've been doing some stuff out there. I knew they've been laying some new concrete and things like that, so had a really good tour. They are doing the Aviation Day this year. They do it every other year. It's in September. I'll have to get you the date on that, but very nice gentleman. The airport's a little different because it's actually under transportation. It's run by the state, even though it's in Franklin County, so it was a good tour. Also had a good conversation with the Corps of Engineers, Judge James Kay, Orby Gritton, the judge in Anderson County, and we had it with about the lock in Dam 5. That's basically the last one that's closed, so they're actually in the process of doing a study. They have divers in the water the other day, seeing what they need to do to open the lock back up. So it was a good conversation, and they also, Robin had already left. She had talked to me from tourism about there's some concerns about locks 1 through 4 because they have maintenance issues, but they are addressing those right now. They have that in the budget. They're getting all that analyzed, so they can hopefully start working on those. On the 14th, Duke and crew met out at the Buena Vista, and we took out some invasive trees. So nothing makes me much happier. So there was 10 massive pear trees, and we all know they're bad for our community, so they took care of those for us. But I will say, surprisingly, as Jack and I walked a lot of the area there, the trees that were planted originally are good trees, good oaks, good maples, very, very nice trees. So that patch along the front, now there's some seedlings in the back part, but that was the biggest part of them. So. And then last night, I went to the Frankfurt Heritage Lecture Series at the library, and Russ Hatter has released another book, and it's all about Franklin County. So he went through for probably a couple years, and he showed pictures of old houses and just the history of Franklin County. He did a very, very good job. I know Gene Birch helped him with pictures, so that was nice to see us kind of taking a look at. So. That is my judge's report. So now we're going to head on to before we start on the minutes, Kim wanted to say a couple things as we move on to the minutes from our February 26, 2025 meeting.
Court, I have realized I have made a typo. I made the change in the minutes. I had Squire Wisman voting for the minutes, and I'm going to modify that to be voting in opposition.
Okay. And then,
And also during the voting session, if you could amend the minutes to reflect it.
and then also in the voting session, we are gonna need somebody to amend the agenda because we are going to have to vote on the minutes from our special meeting. So that is one thing we're gonna need to amend. So we'll have two things in the voting session we'll need to amend. It will be the road department's fuel tanks, and then it will be the minutes from our special meeting that we had last week. So we'll need a motion for that too. Thank you, clerk.
You're welcome.
Alrighty, next, I believe we have Jailer Hopper with us. What'd I skip? Hold on. Oh, okay.
Did you skip someone?
No, I don't think so.
All right, good evening, you guys. First, I wanted to say, continue to send the emails about getting out in your district and cleaning up the roadside. We had a full bed of garbage that was picked up today in a few different sites. And really quick, April the 1st will be our first graduation of our graduating class of SAP and SOAR. So we put that together today, and we'll make sure that you guys get notice of
Yeah,
that.
if you send us an invitation, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We met yesterday with Amy and our upcoming budget. You know, you always dread to come in front of you guys and say, we're going to be increasing, but it's not going to be a great deal when we talk about the difference between our revenue.
Jailer, one second. I just want to make sure everybody's going by the amended one that we have, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just wanting to, before we move on, I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page here. Literally.
Okay. That's not the one. Did you print from your email? I did.
Can I ask a question about procedure, Judge?
Sure.
This budget is presented to us today.
Correct.
And when should we, it's very quick if we look this over and ask questions or discuss it. So should we just wait until a later time to do
Yeah,
that?
typically, we're just receiving them
Just
today. So they have a
receiving.
presentation,
Just
and I would just recommend you make any notes, and then we'll
That's
circle
fine,
back.
that's what I thought we
Yeah.
should do. I just want to
No,
make
I
sure.
appreciate that, yes.
So just hitting the high points, is that,
What you think, I mean, yeah, typically unless something's changed plus or minus a whole lot, you know, I mean, I
Right.
think everybody can
And
go
there'll
down and
be-
read it, but you do have some things that you're taking a whole different approach on.
yes.
So I think, you know,
Yes, so.
anything you feel like you want to point out.
Well, the most important thing, we're going from 43 staff and we're asking to have 49 staff. And the 6 additional staff is due to the population that has increased with our SAP and SOAR. I'm happy to announce that we will be receiving federal inmates again. The previous contract in place was for 30 inmates and 30 males and 6 females, and we are projecting 20. I don't want to say we'll have the whole 30 for 365 days, but having our federal inmates back will offset me asking for additional staff. With additional staff, we have to provide 2-man transport for all of our federal inmates. Hospital, all of this will be reimbursed to the general fund, not to the jail, not for our payroll line. Our SAP and SOAR, if you look at that and it looks like it's went down or was not where it was supposed to be, the contract was originally signed for 40 females, not for the 80 that was projected. And we did not receive our first females until September. And we are currently still just under contract for 20 each. We have signed, and it was approved by DOC for us to receive 80. We're waiting for other counties now to sign off on this, because basically what that means is we'll be taking their participants from their jails. DOC wants them housed at our jail. So we're waiting for a few counties to have to sign off on, releasing their participants to us. Those are two of the main things. I've asked for the maintenance budget not to go down. We received $86,000 last year for the floor. I'm asking that you not take that down. I would like for that to remain the same for, various reasons. We're getting ready to be 38 years old. We've started something out at the jail where we're doing preventive maintenance. We have a checklist of things that we do and things that we're going through, and I always refer to it as peeling it back like an onion. We're checking from the top to the bottom of the jail and coming up with needs. We had our strategic plan, and one of the big things that we need to start looking at is the structure of insulation on the building. I think that was addressed in 22. I'm not sure that the repairs that were done that were said to be done. So those are things that we've put on our list. I'm asking that we remain at the same budget that we have for our maintenance line. Those are the major changes that we have. Medical services will go up slightly, and that's expected. I wouldn't choose anyone else. If you asked me if we had to sign a contract anytime soon, I would sign it again with that same company. It matters to have them there 24 hours a day.
I think that's all the big ones.
Yeah.
Do you all have any questions?
If I can, Judge. Jailer Hopper, could you elaborate just a little bit? The previous elected jailer had thought we were going to get federal prisoners, and then ultimately we took it out of the budget last time because we never received any. But do you think that the conversations have been favorable, that we may receive some, and you think that's a qualified amount that we expect to receive? Could you just elaborate on that?
Yes, so we had 2 representatives from Bureau of Federal Prisons came out. They toured our jail. They said that we needed to be commended for the amount of work that we've done in a short amount of time. They called us within 30 minutes, told us they'll be bringing their inmates back to the jail. She said when she left, she let us know that it could be up to a month before, and it'd be a week or so, but before we heard back from her. And literally within 30 minutes, she called and said, we'll be bringing them back. We took her through the facility. We showed her that we were able to shuffle around some real estate and open up a pod area that would house the federal inmates. And like I said, there's a contract that says 30. We're going to say 20 because that's what this particular pod area holds, is 20. Federal inmates can go in general population, but I don't want to say we're always going to have 30. She let us know that we have opportunities for an additional contract that I'm not ready to speak on today with immigrations. I think that has to be a conversation I have with the county attorney first.
Squire Blackburn.
Thank you for coming in today. Could you tell us what your current population is at the jail right now?
Today it is 247. 247.
And what is the max population you could have there?
Our max population would be 350, and that's putting some people in boats on the floor.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Does that include the dormitory?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Jailer Hopper, Laura, or Shane, since all 3 are here tonight with us? Squire Dykes.
So I just want to thank them for working with us on the net recovery project, because it wasn't going as planned, because people didn't want to go out of the community and all manner of other reasons, not because of net recovery. But they were very, very gracious, and we went and had a great meeting and talked about just where we can go with this, and they're doing a fantastic job. So I just want to thank you all, because I know it's extra work. I know it's extra people coming into the jail. I know that, but I think it's going to be great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Squire. Squire Harris.
I just want to thank you for the help with the road cleanup. It's making a difference in the county. It's looking really good. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, there was like I said, a pickup truckload of trash that was brought in today. Half of it was brought in from in front of Walmart in that area there. That. So, and we're getting emails from you guys, and keep them coming. We're currently working with Frankfort Police Department, doing a project with them right now out at the range. So we've split our, we split our workload out. So.
And I want to say that Georgetown Road looked terrible.
Yeah.
We can attest to, and thank you all so much. Like, it was badly needed.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah, you're good.
I just wanted to thank you all, because you were out in the edge of the first district today, working out there on US 127. I saw it early this morning, and made mention of it on 2 stops that I had at 2 meetings. So it was a very different drive when I came back the last time through there.
Good,
Very
I'm glad to
different
hear
drive.
that.
So thank you very much.
All righty. Thank you guys very much.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Squire Kane, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
That was a late hand, I think.
Yeah, it was a late thought.
Late call.
Yesterday, we had, that meeting we were in, you had a list of things that you thought you would try to work in. Of course, I think most of those were going to be dealt with your canteen money. It was a 15-passenger van. Is it in here?
Yes, on our wish list, we,
Maybe I shouldn't be elaborate, because this maybe should be come up later, but
in our strategic plan, our wish list, a 15-passenger van was put on there. We can't trade in or get rid of the 2 we currently have. We traveled from Pikeville to Paducah, picking up these women for SAP and SOAR. We also will need this van to run our court system as well as the federal court system, because we will be responsible for taking inmates to federal court and transporting them to hospital as well. And it's always a 2-man job for federal inmates.
what do you use to transport your people who are picking up litter abatement?
So we have a pickup truck that I think they were in today. It's an extended cab pickup, and then we have a van that is owned by the canteen. It's owned by our commissary, and we use that when they pick them up. I think today we split them up. One went in the van and one went in the pickup truck, because we did roadside pickup, and then again, we're working with Frankfort Police Department doing a job for them right now.
I'm just curious, I know that was one of the things on the wish list.
Right. Those vans, those big vans will primarily be used for court transports. We have the 2 vehicles for work detail, for work crews.
Joe, thank you very much. We appreciate you and your team coming in tonight and presenting the budget to us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Alrighty, next, I don't believe, do we have anybody here to talk about the audit for Farmdale Sanitation? Don't believe so. So if people have questions about it, we'll have to contact them, but I think we all have it, so that's what was required. Next, I believe Penny Peebler is in the audience. There she is. How you doing this evening, Penny?
I'm doing great, Judge. Thank you, members of the Fiscal Court, for having me here this evening, and thank you all especially for allowing me to serve as your interim Economic Development Director. It's been a year of learning. It's been a year of working together with all of you, and I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to serve Franklin County. So thank you. Tonight, what I want to do is just bring you up to speed on several projects and initiatives that were begun over the last year. We've been working diligently to enhance the economic vitality of our community. With your support, we're writing a new chapter in economic development. We're understanding that global, regional, and local dynamics have changed considerably over the last several years, and our community must adapt to these changes. I regret to inform you that my blood sugar is low, and I need to turn my phone off. This is great to know.
Do you need a candy bar?
That's good. No, I definitely don't need a candy bar. I need to turn, that's great. Thank you.
Thought I'd ask.
Thank you for, no, I'm great. I'm working hard not to be diabetic, so. Now everyone in Franklin County knows.
Hey, it's real. It's real.
Yeah, well, eat healthily, everyone. So where was I? You know about many of the things that we have done this year together because we have worked so hard to stay in communication with each other. You set the agenda, the board carries out your direction, and I serve at their pleasure. So I just wanted to hit a few highlights and then speak to you about 2026. I know these are uncertain economic times, but we all must invest in economic development. It is a team sport. We all work together in it. So as far as the business retention program, you know, our best efforts in economic development can be spent making sure that our existing businesses and manufacturing entities, advanced manufacturers, technology companies thrive. So we have continued what has been a long tradition at KCDC of existing industry visits with local manufacturers. We have also filmed with cameras and drones at various facilities throughout the year. We've been doing case studies on Monoplast, Buffalo Trace, Topi, R.J. Corman, and the Candleberry Candle Company, and those are being featured and rolled out on our KCDC website, in social media, on LinkedIn, through public relations and outreach to promote those products which are made in Franklin County and the city of Frankfort. We are also assisting several manufacturers and companies with their space needs. Those are ongoing. Some of them we work with the Cabinet for Economic Development on. Now, as it relates to business expansion, everyone here knows that we welcomed a new advanced manufacturer to Franklin County in this year. That is NITO, a high-quality manufacturer of products for the automotive and aerospace industries, a worldwide company headquartered in Japan. We will have a ribbon cutting for their facility in July, and they will begin work there in April with their 220 employees. We continue to work with NITO as they recruit employees. The staff is currently working 3 active potential and likely projects in the areas of advanced manufacturing, bioengineering, and tourism. 3 additional projects are in the long-term planning stages or have been fully explored with the Commonwealth, advanced manufacturing in metal fabrication and agritourism. Now, we've had other bits and bites over the year. We work some things, they go cold, they come back. You know, it is a business development game, but we're working hard to stay in touch and try to provide leadership and just try to provide the sense that Franklin County is a great place to do business, that we care, we have passionate citizens. That's our charter. We're providing leadership on the Kentucky Product Development Initiative. Thank you for your support of the interlocal agreement there as we continue to explore that, and we continue to explore that. It's an iterative process, it's a long process, and that is a process that we are working. In the area of strategic planning, thank you to everyone who participated in our focus groups, in our surveys. We have about 984 surveys out on the street right now to people, encouraging them to respond, and we want to have a statistically valid sample of response. As you know, Franklin County has a multi-legged economic development stool, including arts and cultural heritage, tourism, advanced manufacturing, state government, business and professional services, and we also have lots of opportunities in the area of agritourism, rural development, not just urban tourism. You know, there is a lot that's happening here, and we're continuing to lean into that, and we're really working hard to bring new industry here. Now, with this Economic Development Strategic Action Plan, we will wrap that process up in July. KCDC allocated $120,000 in funding for the Strategic Action Plan, and we continue to work that. We selected a consultant in a national search. Many of you participated in that process, and I mean, I'm so pleased that we had 9 national firms who wanted to work with our county. And we have a planner who is multifaceted, multidisciplined, really helped build up Asheville and Buncombe County, you know, which is, I believe, aspirational for us, but also is a site selector for many locating interests. And so I believe we're really getting our money there. The Department of Labor Workforce Development Grant. This is an information technology grant to train 25 apprentices to work remotely or in person in basic information technology jobs, as well as cybersecurity, AI, and I'm so pleased to tell you that as of today, we started the training on January 27th. We have 4 constituents of the Wanda Joyce Robinson Foundation in our class. When we started, 2 of those students did not know how to turn on a computer. Today, 90% of that class has passed the first certification, which is called the IT Specialist. We have just 2 participants scheduled for a second attempt. So it's not one and done. You go back and you learn. One of the women who passed is one of the women who could not turn on a computer. She has 6 children. She's impacted by incarceration. And it is an incredible thing to see her joy when she's learning this. And I can't wait at the end of the cohort to introduce you to these wonderful graduates. We're working very hard to get them all jobs. They don't all have jobs yet. We have commitments from Health Tech Solutions and Delta Dental, 4 jobs for 3 of the people. We have about between 17 and 19 more jobs to recruit, and that is something that your Economic Development Agency is working very hard on. Our partnership with KSU is going great there. Every student is receiving 12 credit hours of computer science through this program. So they can really envision themselves as a college student, and next semester they can reapply if they want to continue, and they'll already be a second semester freshman. So it is a pathway. Some of them may choose to only go into the workforce and not continue that degree, but that is KSU's opportunity. We've set them up for success to take it and get it over the line. We have many wonderful trade education programs at our Franklin County Career and Technical School, but we want to grow that into advanced manufacturing and computer technology, because as you know, KSU has a brand new advanced manufacturing and engineering program. They're very supportive of our efforts to grow commerce and technology in Franklin County. So that's been a great partnership that's been cultivated over the year. We developed a new website, we launched a LinkedIn page, we started a podcast series featuring videos, interviews, case studies, and an economic development fact sheet. The focus is on Franklin County's assets and quality of life, business, and industry. We've trained with the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development on their Zoom Prospector property marketing tool and updated Franklin County listings. We filmed segments on KET about our remote worker recruitment program, which aired statewide. We published 2 articles in national publications, a global site selection magazine highlighting top business destinations in North America and Canada. And I've provided you links to some of those articles. We assisted Greater Lexington, the new name for the 9-county Bluegrass Regional Economic Development Partnership, with the launch of lookatlex.com. which is about location and talent attraction, and also locate in Lexington. So we have a lot of marketing going out there. We assisted the new Common Bond Hotel Group with connections in advanced manufacturing as the Delegate Hotel opened mid-October and the Ashbrook opened mid-November. And then, of course, we had the St. Clair, open. So we now have 80 new boutique rooms in downtown, which are really important for corporate clients like the Stewart Home for Parents Weekend. They're important for our advanced manufacturers and certainly for our distillers. As far as transition goes, that's the other big thing that we have worked on as a staff this year. We completed updates to our banking, our federal registration. We have assisted with bringing bookkeeping up into the 21st century, and we've attended conferences about economic development, and we've really been leaning into small business development. We hosted 2 small business town halls with Robert Coffey of the U.S. Small Business Administration, which were attended by over 60 business owners and local officials. We welcomed 3 new remote workers to campus, to Frankfurt. We assisted with their housing, and we oversaw their city incentives for their $100,000 a year plus jobs that they brought to Franklin County. One of them moved their whole company of 12 people, and the other one moved with a trailing spouse. We've been updating our standard operating procedures, and we believe that we are charting the right course for the future. Attached to this memo is a budget request for 2026. Our request of you is $180,000. This is an increase over last year. There are several areas of increase, which I have detailed for you in letters A through G at the bottom of the sheet. I've also laid out exactly what our requests are in the increase area related to salaries. The increase is for some additional administrative help. We are very active. We have a marketing assistant. We are marketing. As our economic development consultant tells us, you must think globally and market locally. So we are doing a lot of marketing. It is necessary. This is everyone's new Kentucky home, and we are the capital. So that's a critical piece. So we need additional support there. And on top of that, really the increase is driven in the marketing area. You can see that KCDC is pulling funds from general reserves. We don't have a lot of general reserves that are not earmarked for land development. We do have funds which are earmarked for land development, but we have a modest cash reserve for operations. So that's my report. I want to thank you again, because it has really been a pleasure to work with all of you. I hope that you feel that we have an open relationship, that we have all met frequently, and that you feel a part of these efforts, and that you feel your role in directing these efforts. I hope that you feel you are getting a good return on your investment, because when you invest in your economic development agency, we are multiplying that. Many times, if we attract another person like Nito, or we expand a tourism entity, or a rural development project, you could get an 8, 9, 10-fold return on your money. That's what we're here for, to multiply that. Because I want to remind everyone who is watching today, not only am I trying not to get diabetes, we are also trying to increase our ability to provide services in Franklin County. And we collect taxes and provide services. And 80% of our budget comes from those occupational taxes. Jobs drive growth. And we need tourism jobs, and we need professional jobs, and we need jobs in technology and advanced manufacturing. And we already have a bunch, but that is how we will grow the services that we are able to provide. And that's what we're working so hard for. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank the board of KCDC. I want to thank Richard Rosen, our treasurer, for being here, for everyone's support. And I will be glad to entertain any questions.
All right, Squire Sebastian had her hand up first.
Thank you, Judge. And I want to thank you, Interim Executive Director, for being here tonight and sharing that overview with us and kind of elaborating a little bit on some of those points. Several months ago, the Fiscal Court allocated some funding for maybe a series of television spots.
Yes.
And we were going to work with the city as well as your organization. So
Right.
can you kind of
Yes, I
brief
would
us
love
on
to.
Great
I'm so
question.
glad you
Yeah,
asked.
great question.
Because I'm here with a draft script
Yeah.
for that program.
Thank you.
I'm here with a draft script for this program, which was just finished today by Logan Thomas and myself, and we are going to get it out to everyone for their review. And so this is the Viewpoint program that airs on KET, hosted by Dennis Quaid, and then it airs on Fox Business News and a number of different business programs. It's a 3 to 5 minute program, and then there are 30-second spots which air throughout the year on PBS in the markets that we identify. It's your money, we will identify those. Then in addition to that, we have professionally shot 4K footage that then we can use in all this other marketing that we're going to be doing. So the cost of that was less than $30,000. We split it 3 ways between KCDC, the county, and the city of Frankfort. And so I am sending this script out tomorrow for everyone to review, and the filming will take place in June. Now, I'm pleased to also tell you that Logan and I have gathered up all the high-definition video that's been shot in Franklin County in the last several years, and we have loaded it onto a hard drive to give to them. So I've worked with Robin, I have Josephine Sculpture Park, I have the Grand, I have tourism, I have Canoe Kentucky, I have all kinds of footage. We shot a bunch of stuff with Make My Move for our remote worker campaign. I think everybody has seen that website. So we have all that. I did a whole case study at Buffalo Trace, which has some awesome footage with Freddie. So we're not starting from zero, we're starting in a position of strength, and then when we come in and shoot more, we'll even have more footage, which then can be shared among the city, the county, KCDC, the chamber, DFI, tourism. We can all share in that and make our own appeals of, you know, the best of Kentucky distilled. And so the filming is in June. I don't recall the exact date. I will be getting it out to everybody tomorrow. And I can't wait for you to weigh in on the script and give me your input.
Go ahead, Sherry.
Thank you.
Barb.
I was going to ask the question about the filming. The weather has been so bad here.
I know.
I was worried when you said we've worked on this, that we canned a lot of footage in the worst possible
Oh,
time to
no,
showcase
everything
our
is blue
community.
skies.
So
Blue skies.
Yeah, we want lots of blue skies.
Yeah, so
and lots
June-
of nice trees.
June is the month for that. So the footage
yeah.
that we have, the 4K footage that we have was shot at, you know, different times of the year. And so all of that will be professionally edited. That's what we're paying for, the professional editing. And we're all gonna weigh in on it, right? It's your money. So we're all gonna ride herd over the script and the drafts when it gets produced. We'll get to see everything.
Thank you.
And we can all feel good about it.
Squire Dykes.
Yes.
I don't have any questions at this point, but I want to, when I joined the court, even when I was running, I got asked lots of questions about KCDC, and I knew none of the answers to those questions because I just didn't know. It wasn't out there, didn't have much information, and I just appreciate you so much and all the
right
hard
back at
work
ya.
that you do. I mean, sincerely, I'm not an economist. And so the way that you explain things, the way that you keep us all informed, you are the calmest human I've ever met in the face of adversity, and that's no joke. I just appreciate you more than I can tell you. So thank you
so
very much for all of your hard work.
It's very mutual. Thank you.
Squire Hurd.
I want to thank you for bringing all the new industry in, the prospective industry, and I think it's pertinent to Franklin County's livelihood, so thank you very much.
We're
Keep
not
up the
going to
great
win
work.
them all. You know, we've all sold something before, even if it was magazines in high school. You don't win them all. But we win some of them if we
That's
work
great.
hard.
Thank
So,
you.
Carl
Thank you.
Blackburn.
Penny, I want to thank you. You've reached out to me and night, at all times. We've met and talked. You've really been a good communicator. And not just to, I think, folks on the court, but to people in the community, to people in business and industry. And you bringing in, the help that you've got, it's been phenomenal.
We have some good help.
That young lady is really good.
She's amazing.
And, I want to quit calling you interim. I need that to happen. So, just need some board members to hear that. And, because this is your home. You just need to move here.
I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
One of you, everyone, Squire Tanner.
Well, okay, I'm 5, he's 6, right? I want to just back up what they said. You've done a great job. There's a lot of dirt being moved around here, and there's a lot more going to be moved. And as Squire had said, this is not an order-taking business. The development is not taking orders and doing it. It's work. It's and you have a lot of successes, and some of them you don't. I mean, that's just the way it is. I've been around, done that a long time in my life.
Yes, you have.
I try to get out of the way when I see I ain't gonna make it. So, but anyway, y'all done a great job.
Thanks,
Moving a
we're
lot of
trying
dirt.
and we appreciate it.
A lot of dust. That's good.
Squire Wisman.
I'll echo some of those comments. Of course, Penny, I appreciate the fast track that you have put us on. It's no secret my feelings, my opinion of the previous director, the disdain that was held for the elected members of this community set us back years in our ability to develop this community. And I think you've caught us up quite fast. And there's a lot of discussion right now in the community about industrial and a focus on manufacturing and some of those things that is rightfully taking the air in the room as a conversation point. But I have to say publicly, I'm really quite excited about these consultants. For the first time in our history, we're going to, as a community, define what we want economic development to be. And there's going to be a great conversation about which direction we want to go. If we don't want industrial in this community, fine. That's the decision of the community, and we'll focus on everything else that we have, and vice versa, if that's the will of the community. But I'm excited that we're talking in terms of big picture and how we can develop a stable local economy by supporting and helping foster our local business.
Yes.
Wannabe businesses, our
Yes.
entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
We're bringing in our children in some of these programs at the very beginning and giving them experience and opportunity, which they should have in a capital city.
Yes.
And we're focusing on things that have been talking points for years and years, but we've never taken any action on, like this massive landscape that we have that's just our biggest asset. So thank you for shepherding all of this and the board. And I'm really excited, and I just want to ask the community to get involved and to reach
Yes.
out, and let's all be part of this process and leave some of the negatives at the side, even though I'm frustrated, as many of the public are, with some of recent developments. But at the same time, we have an opportunity to define our future really well right now, and I'm excited that you're at the helm leading that with your experience that you have in this field and your multifaceted experience in many of these aspects that are going to help us put some measurables, finally on where we can go and what we can produce better than we have in the past. So
Thank you. Well, thank you very
I have
much.
nothing to say. The court said it all. But I will say, I don't think we've ever had somebody present a budget to us and basically had everybody so complimentary. So you should take that
Thank
back
you.
to your
Well,
board and be proud
thank you
of
very
it.
much. I appreciate
and I
that, and I
will
know our
say
board
it's-
does. And, I encourage the public to get involved. We do have a brand-new website, www.kycapitaldevelopment.com. On that website, you can sign up for a newsletter there. You can watch our podcasts. You can download information. And you can read case studies about all of the things that are made in Franklin County. So please, constituents, get involved and let all of your networks know that we want to hear from our constituents.
Penny,
Thanks.
Thank
We have someone who understands that we are receiving a budget, not doing anything with it.
Correct.
Which is very helpful, to not have to educate a presenter.
you. Yes. Alrighty, next we have Belinda, and I believe, I don't know if Chief Depp's getting up or not, so why don't you give it a whirl? He's back here talking. He forgot why he came.
Good evening. We are requesting authorization to apply for a Kentucky Office of Homeland Security Law Enforcement Protection Program grant. The grant will be used to purchase ammunition for the Sheriff's Office. The estimate for the needed ammunition is $20,426.15. This is a reimbursement program funded by the sale of confiscated firearms, and there is not a match for this funding. And Chief Deputy Dwayne Depp is here to answer any questions you may have about our request.
Chief, thanks for being with us tonight. Why don't you talk a little bit about, what you all need here?
Yes, what we're trying to do this year, we applied for this grant last year, and you may remember we were awarded the grant for our body armor. And we have since ordered those, been fitted, they should be coming in here pretty soon. This is a new grant opportunity, new grant year, and we're seeking to purchase some ammunition. As you know, ammunition along with other products are continuing to increase in pricing. We are also transitioning over from a Glock 22 to a Glock 35 that has a pistol-mounted optics, which would require each of our deputies to spend about 16 hours in training, and they will probably shoot somewhere between 750 to 850 rounds just to get qualified and up to speed on what the weapon should do, supposed to do, can do. So with that being said, we're looking at ordering, or we're hoping to be able to receive about 24,000 rounds of .40 caliber for our Glock 35. Then we're also seeking about 17,500 rounds for our rifles, and another right at 8,500 rounds for our Glock 27, which is our secondary weapon. Most of our deputies not only carry their sidearm, but they also carry a secondary weapon, and they spend a lot of time at the range shooting, so that's what this grant is all about.
All righty, questions from the court? Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you so much always for being here
Yes.
and being very thorough in your presentation. If we don't get the grant, we're going to have to purchase the ammunition
That's
anyway, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So this will help offset the purchase cost?
That is totally correct.
Just want to make sure
Yes,
that.
ma'am. Even if we don't get the grant, we still have to have ammo.
Still
Yes,
gotta
ma'am.
have it.
We qualify, just so you know, we actually are required to qualify once a year. We actually do, and we're fortunate, we actually qualify twice a year. And that just makes sure that our deputies are proficient, that we shoot during daytime hours. We also go back and shoot during nighttime hours, just so that if we ever get in situations that we have the training necessary, not only to make good decisions, but also actually make good shots if we have to use our service weapon.
Squire Harris.
You know, I'm 100% in support of public service. There's nothing more important than having the equipment you need to use when you need to use it. Just wanted to put that out there and let you know that I'm 100% behind.
Thank you.
Squire Blackburn.
I'm a firm believer in practice. It's a perishable skill. And you shot something great when you were a kid, it goes away. It's not automatic. You've got to practice that and hone that. And I have gone with the TRU unit before and watched them practice. And I'm hopeful that you all get this grant and this ammunition, because you want to be confident.
Yes.
And you can't be safe unless you're confident. And so I'm a big proponent of this, and because I do the same myself, and I think you guys should do it better than anybody.
Thank you.
Chief, thank you, and a special thanks to Belinda for working with you on this to get these grants out. The more we can get out, hopefully the more successful we are. So, Belinda, thank you.
Great. Thank
Chief,
you all.
Thank you. Please tell everybody to stay safe out there, and we appreciate everything they do for Franklin County. Next, I believe Ally is with us, Solid Waste Coordinator. How are you doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you?
Fabulous, thank you. Thanks for being with us.
Fabulous. Good evening, members of the court. The first application I have here today is for household hazardous waste collection. The total request is $23,480. That's for the vendor as well as advertising. Frankfurt Plant Board started offering digital advertising as well, so we've been utilizing that with our programs lately.
What questions does the court have for Ally on this one, if any? There is a 25% match, it looks like.
Yep. We've always met that with personnel time.
Yep, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. Alrighty, go ahead and move on, Ally.
Yep. Okay, the next one I have here, these two upcoming are a bit more complicated than hazardous waste, but we're familiar with them. I have the composting grant through the State Division of Waste Management. And the request for this one, I talked to the road department, a new compact track loader, we're looking at around $80,000. This would be to turn the piles a bit more concisely and also to load compost into the trommel screener that we got a couple years ago. I guess the width of this bucket is very compatible with the screener. And then I'm also requesting wireless digital thermometers, and that's so we can get, a lot more active data on the temperatures of the piles. I think that would save a lot of time and be very efficient. As well as we get a chipper service to come out every year to chip all the yard waste from Yard Waste Wednesday at once. And then the backyard composting class where people in our community get a compost bin every year if they take a class at the library with me. And then composting supplies for Franklin County schools, classroom lessons, and advertising about our compost programs. Are there any questions about that one?
Questions for Ally on this? Squire Wisman.
Not just maybe a relatable question since we're focusing on composting here. This week, the court announced that we're going to start selling compost by the truckload and by the bag at farmers market events. Could you speak to that? Are we still going to have free compost giveaways, or that's been a decision by the judge alone in creating that program and charging for that. So I've got a lot of questions from the community already about it. So if you could elaborate.
Yep, we made a post yesterday about it, but we're doing a sales only model right now, so no giveaways are scheduled at this time, and so people can order online. I think it's 20-pound bags for $5 through franklincountyfarmersmarket.org, I think. I can't remember if it's .com or .org. And then we have a portal now on the solid waste management page where people can order bulk compost for $65 per cubic yard, and that pickup's at the road department. So that's what we're offering.
Pickup only, there's no delivery options or anything in those terms, and that's going to be moving the compost from the site where it's created to the road department for pickup.
Yeah, it's just pickup at this time. I'd like to expand the program through grants eventually to offer delivery would be ideal. But that's what we're working with right now.
I'll just go for the record, I'm a little concerned about that program that we may not be staffed at the level we should be or could be. It may take up a lot of time. It may be one thing to charge for a bag that's convenience delivery, to the farmer's market where people can pick it up, but I hope if we see a surplus of compost that we're going to rethink that, because it's a tax-funded program, a grant-funded, additional tax-funded program. I don't like this charging for something that is created by the citizens in effect. So just to air my
Squire Tanner.
I should know this, but I don't. The 20-pound bags, who bags that?
So compost is bagged via road department staff.
The road department staff is bagging in 20-pound bags. Do they have automatic equipment?
Yes, we applied for that last year with the composting grant, an automated bagger machine. And they use burlap bags. They've been bagging it by hand at the road department. They also have the machine is available too, so.
So they're bagging it by hand and by automated equipment, both?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. That's good for me to know. I don't know about anybody else, but putting 20 pounds in a bag by hand is not easy to do. But if you got an automatic bagger, weighs it, seals it, sews it up, ties it, I don't know how it does it.
I've met with road department personnel about what's feasible, what they have time for, and staffing wise, and because we do want them to be focused on what's really, really necessary in the moment. And so far they've said that they can handle where we're at. And I'll continue to meet with them and check in and just see what's reasonable to
Squire,
do.
we've had conversations, if this program does take off, the jail does have help that we could, turn it into a little bit more, production. But she won that award, composter last year, right? It was like $70,000 to use the bags. Squire Harry.
The automated machine, it puts it in burlap bags also? We're not using any plastic, right?
We're not using the plastic bags. It works with the burlap bags, but the bagger machine has a heated seal that would work with plastic bags. So the burlap bags have to be hand tied, but it helps fill it.
But as of right now, we're using burlap, not plastic.
Yep. Yep.
Ally, technical question, how is our road department sending that down to the farmer's market on Saturday? Are they staying and taking what's left back to the road department, or how are we managing that? It seems like a lot of man time.
Yeah, so all the sales are managed by me, and so I post how many bags we can make available by Friday the week before the farmer's market sales. So the farmer's market, starting April 28th, they do a Thursday pickup and a Saturday pickup. So in the online portal, I get a notification by Wednesday morning how many people ordered bags. So I'll upload, say we can do 30 this week. That's what we have. Residents can opt in to order up to 30. And then I will text the road waste attendant, Cody, how many bags we have. And then they have to put it in the farmer's market trailer. We have the code to that by, let's see, for Thursday pickup by Wednesday at 3. And then there's also a farmer's market Saturday pickup, and they have to put it in the trailer by Friday at 3. And so
So we're only taking down what's pre-sold, basically.
That's what I'm trying to ask.
And then Abigail's
So-
doing some stuff, I think, on Saturdays where she might have a bag or two for display, correct?
So how are you processing the payment when those orders are made through our site and nothing on site then? Is that right?
yeah, nothing on site. So the farmer's market portal, I can't remember how often we get a check. We've gotten one from them. So it might be on a yearly basis we get the sales. It might be quarterly. We just started that. But that's handled through the farmer's market payment portal. So we're like a certified vendor. And then with the solid waste payment portal for bulk pickup, that we set up through Tyler Tech
Yeah.
online.
He's doing all of our online things through planning and zoning, parks, things like that, correct?
And so it's all pre-ordered.
Okay, Ally, I think you have another one, don't you?
Yep, one more, have the recycling grant through the Division of Waste Management. And, let's see. Okay, for this one, I'm applying for, the total request is $35,218.44 with a 25% match. That will be personnel time. The goal of this grant is to increase education regarding recycling and reduce contamination. And so we plan to continue the aluminum can recycling drive next year. All schools are invited to participate. We're going to do February again. And so hopefully this year went pretty well. Everyone remembers the logistics for next year. And I think if we can make that a staple every February, then people can start to really expect that and prepare. And so I'm applying for more bags for that. And then also I'm applying for a plastic packaging recycling box that we could put at the front of the Fiscal Court or somewhere. Because during a town hall about reducing plastic, a lot of people expressed concerns about not having options for like soft plastic packaging, like that you get with a grocery store product. And so this would take all that, it goes to TerraCycle to get processed. And so that's a special recycling process, but I wanted to apply for that and give people an option to have a way of dispose of soft plastics that aren't curbside recyclable. I'm also applying for another year of the Frank Waste app, then more advertising. I upped the ads a lot, and I'm hoping they award us those because we're having more print, mailers, a billboard about recycling, web, cable, digital ads. Also, we're ordering our own cart decals. I'm applying for that, and fridge magnets on what's recyclable. Just trying to get the word out that Franklin County is recycling. Here's what we're taking. And then I looked at other communities who do something similar. And I'm also applying for funding for a recycling contamination education team. So people would go into our community and kind of audit what's in recycling cans and do an oops tag of, oh, you bagged your recyclables, this is contaminated, and kind of leave feedback for what's wrong with the cart. Or we would do a nice job tag on, this looks good, your cart looks good, just giving people some live feedback about what is or isn't recyclable. And so let me know if you guys have any questions about that.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you for being with us. My question is in regard to recycling in the incorporated area of the city. We know that that is not occurring, and I get requests at least weekly about when that may resume. I don't hear a lot of communication about when that will resume. You may, so maybe you could help educate us if you've heard anything in that regard, because we all have constituents in the city, we all serve them, and I keep getting asked about that, and I make them aware of locations that we have where they could take their recycling. Some of them have transportation issues, so they're just sharing their desire to recycle, but their inability to do so because of perhaps some barriers that they have.
Yeah, we love to hear that people are wanting to continue to recycle, and it has been really unfortunate that it's been unavailable in the city limits for so long. At our last solid waste task force meeting, the city solid waste superintendent said we're looking at end of April, early May. Mayor Wilkerson was also on Cable 10 last month, and he said late April, early May. So that's what we're looking at.
Well, I had the question asked of me today, so I'll be able to give them some time frames. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Spread the word.
Judge, just sort of related to that, a couple of faceted comments and questions, Ally, if I could.
Sure.
Related to the city's recycling, we learned at that meeting that the city is not going to bring back some of the programs that folks are used to, like cardboard drop-off, and as well as maybe some other things. And I'm mentioned at that meeting, and now I'm thinking more and more that it's going to be imperative upon the county to maybe take more of an active role in this field of offering recyclable alternatives for our community at large than what we do now. That said, in last year's discussions with a number of these budgets, you made a comment at one point that your available time for match for most of the grants that we applied for was pretty well reaching the full amount of your time. And with the amount of money that we've been pulling in through granting opportunities, I imagine we're just going to continue to add to the workload. So I want to mention here, I wonder if you could put together a scope for us before budgeting time about what level of your time is committed through granting matches and any other staff that we may have, because I want to start thinking about an assistant position for you, because I think we're already at the point that we need it. Thankfully, you've got a position right now through AmeriCorps, but that's only temporary, and we're going to need some help for you because legally you're going to be obligated to matching the grants with your amount of staff time that you have. So I think there's going to be an opportunity for the county to grow our program, and I hope so. I've had this vision of making a regional recycling and composting facility that we could really run and become a gold standard in the state. But I think the next step is right in front of us already for this next budget. So if you could help inform us about some of that need and where we are more holistically with the grants that we're applying for, especially if they're awarded, what that looks like for us.
I think that's a good thing to bring up right now. So thank you, Squire Wisman. I do have concerns about where we're at with Rouse Avenue since that's not in our jurisdiction. In the last solid waste task force meeting, after asking some more clarifying questions, I think we confirmed that the wire bins for cardboard box drop-off are going away. They're having to constantly repair those bins, and it wasn't clear for a while if that service was going to be offered. And I think where we landed was recycling trailers will be at Rouse Avenue with slots that are several feet wide, like 4 feet wide, for cardboard boxes to fit. And so we're hoping that they still will take cardboard boxes, that's the plan, but they don't like the wire bins. Those are a problem. But it is concerning that things can change so quickly and that's out of our control. I think I would love to continue having further conversations about the expansion of the solid waste department, and I guess for everyone in the court to start to think about, like, if we were to have a facility, what space would that be in? Like, what's available in our community? where would a good location for that be, I think is my biggest question of where would that go? And it's kind of exciting to think about, but thinking ahead.
We had some, when we had a meeting with the Solid Waste Task Force and the state officials coming in from the Solid Waste Division, they were really supportive and some visionary ideas of really leading the way in our state. I think we need to start thinking about what that looks like, because the support seems to be there for us to do that. And I think the city entirely, and I live in the city, in my district, is frustrated with the city's problem right now with recycling and not providing alternatives. They couldn't manage, what happened with the fire at that facility, but I think there's been opportunities to provide other services. And at the moment, the only fallback has been what this county provides the whole community. So, we're limited in what we can do, so we need to start thinking about expanding those. The judge just mentioned additional recycling carts at maybe our big grocery shopping centers and some things where we could provide alternative drop-off for city residents. So, I think it's incumbent upon us to start thinking about that, because I don't see things going the other way anytime soon.
Yeah, yep.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. When we talk about staff matching time, it's not purely your staff matching time. There's some at the road department that is factored into this matching, correct? Okay, I just wanted to clarify that for the court, that it's not you 100%.
Anyone who's working with the project, I log hours and report that. And let's see, but for the recycling grant, I logged some of Greg Fry's time with the aluminum can recycling drive, but that one, road department's not involved with the recycling programs, and so.
I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
we're all clear about that it's not wholly one-to-one match. Thank you.
Yep.
Ally, before we move on, I just want to ask the court on the agenda item that was in front of us. I want to make sure there's no questions. I know we kind of get off a little bit, and it's great because I think everybody's passionate about recycling. But just before we move on, is there any questions on the recycling grant application approval in front of us tonight? Ally, thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Alrighty. Good evening, Ben.
Good evening,
How you
Judge. Good
doing?
evening, Court. I'm doing well.
What do you have tonight?
This is a zone map amendment for property at 2440 Stedmantown Lane. The present zoning of the property is split. The majority of the property is zoned rural residential, but a 2.94 acre portion of the property is zoned ag, and the applicant was basically seeking to have the property under one zone.
Okay. Any questions from the court for Ben on this agenda item, and it is the first reading?
I'll just do my usual thing, if you don't mind, Judge, reading the current and proposed zoning from the record. For this parcel, the existing zoning is Agriculture District AG, the purpose of which this district is intended to recognize agricultural land to establish regulations which emphasize agricultural production and preserve rural character. And the proposed zoning is Rural Residential RR, whose purpose is intended to establish and preserve a quiet, single-family home neighborhood free from other uses except those which are convenient and compatible with the residences of such neighborhood. This district is intended to be of very low density and will customarily be located in areas where public sewer facilities are not available or planned. I think it's important for the community to understand, those terms, what they mean when a request comes to us, so.
Squire Harrod.
So from what you just said, he's trying to get everything under one zoning because it's split at this time. That's where you're at. Is that?
Look, we can only,
Whatever's in the book.
whatever's in your packet there, unless the court wants to have their own hearing. So my guess is that probably was not presented. If so, please read it in your packet as opposed to eliciting answers out of staff. Thank you.
Judge, may I read from the record?
You can,
Just,
as long as it's in that record.
There is on page, it doesn't have a page number, but it is a handwritten notice in here, a statement of fact from the applicant, it appears. The 4.1 or 40.29 acre parcel of land located at 2440 Stedmantown Lane is currently 95% zoned rural residential with approximately 5% being zoned agricultural. We believe that this is appropriate for the whole parcel of land should be zoned RR.
Okay, thank you.
That answers that.
Perfect. Ben, thanks. Great job tonight, buddy.
Thanks,
That was a big
appreciate
one,
it.
huh?
Appreciate it.
He's like, you all made me stay for this? I know, he was dressed up, tie and everything. That looks good. Hey, good evening, Autumn. How are
Good
you?
evening. Doing well. This is a second reading of the proposed text amendment to amend sections 155.010, 155.085, and 155.089 in order to regulate medicinal cannabis. We had some conversation about this at your meeting last month, so I just ask for your approval. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the court on this? Squire Blackburn, and no, she doesn't have any samples.
I just wanted to ask fellow members of the court, has anyone received any calls on this, or any questions, concerns, positives, pluses, negatives?
I
haven't gotten one.
I do know there has been a dispensary, I think, picked in Franklin County during the lottery system. I'm assuming they're going in the city because I don't think we've heard anything, right?
That's the rumbling that I have heard, is
Yeah.
that it would be in the
I
city.
don't think
We've
they've
not
had-
had any calls recently.
Yeah, so, but that's all I know. We've had a couple big growers look at some of the industrial places, but they opted not to stay here, which is fine, because for me, for us, they don't come with main jobs. So, but yeah. Squire Westman.
I'll say I have had a number of conversations with people that are interested, all supportive. No real phone calls, but people that know this is coming about throughout the community that have been wondering about some things that I brought up. That's where some of my talking points came from. Was, could we reuse some of our existing facilities? Would it allow that? You know, where can these places go? Could I start a business? You know, just some general inquiries about intrigue about how it's going to affect our community and positively for the most part, I have to say. So that's all I've had, and those have been probably a dozen conversations at this point with different people. So.
I do want to say, I appreciate our governor and Team Kentucky, because I think that they went about this the right way. They really picked states that have done a good job at it. You know, they don't want to get out of control, but they want to help people that need this for medical reasons. So they have been very, very good to work with. So Autumn, I appreciate you all working on this too. Thank you.
Judge, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Autumn, from Mrs. Planning Director, I had made several comments last time about letting this proceed, but if we wanted to take an active role at looking at how we could reuse maybe some of our commercial sites throughout the county that might benefit, explain to me the process, maybe just so the public can understand a little bit too, about how this would go about being amended ever to allow production, sale, cultivation, warehousing in other districts that beyond this.
Sure.
I think that'll make some people more comfortable.
Yeah. So a zoning ordinance text amendment could originate with this body. Typically, we will have a zoning update committee that involves a certain group of members of the Planning Commission. They review text amendments before it gets to the full commission. Then it would go through the normal process of being reviewed, and the commission would make a recommendation to you all. Then it would come back to you and go through this process of first and second reading. I do expect that this, as the state's regulations are likely to change in the future, I would expect that our regulations would change as well. If it becomes more open, or if it becomes, less open, we would likely need to provide updates over time.
So specifically, if you could walk me through the process, if a business comes into town and creates an option on a building that's in the county that's currently not allowed to have production, cultivation, whatever.
Sure.
Could they make an individual application to the Planning Commission to have that added or amended to this process, or would it be a certificate of explain?
Right, so we don't have a process for citizen or resident-driven text amendments. Those do have to be initiated by either you all or staff or within the Planning Commission. But, if someone is coming in and looking at a particular piece of property and it's not zoned for one of these uses, the first step would be, is a zone change the appropriate answer? rather than amending the text, because it may be that in that location it makes sense, but it may not make sense in that zone more broadly, and that's why it wasn't included in this first pass. So that would be a conversation, that we could have at that point. But does that answer the question?
Just that it would be a public process, I guess.
Certainly,
It's
yes.
just like anything else we have outside of these exact parameters that have already been defined. So,
Yes.
thank you.
Autumn, thank you very much for being with us tonight. Keep up the good work, you and your team.
Thank you.
Alrighty, and here comes Amy Kaufman, our treasurer. Hello, Amy.
Hello. So this first item that I have is a budget transfer. Planning and zoning had budgeted the purchase of a vehicle. They had also budgeted a wrap of a separate vehicle. The purchase of the vehicle was a little bit more, so they are requesting in this budget transfer, moving that money for the wrap to the lawn to purchase the vehicle.
Any questions for Amy on this agenda item? And I know they're excited to finally get a vehicle.
Judges, I saw a new vehicle outside. Is that the?
No.
No.
I'm not sure whose that is. I saw it too. Basically, I think it's the same one. We're waiting on ours.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully, I think this month will come in.
Okay.
Is this vehicle an automobile or is it SUV? What is it?
It's a little like RAV4 Toyota. It'll be for one of our inspectors, so we're gonna try to update the fleet slowly but surely. Okay, Amy, next.
The next item is a cash transfer. I usually do these quarterly. The jail and fire fund, both need funds moved from the general fund for the jail, from the capital debt to the fire to cover the purchase of the new fire engine. Those are budgeted.
I know, Chief's expensive. I know that. He's back here. Any question? I know, he's back here laughing. He's trying to hide behind Autumn. I love it. Any questions for Amy on this one? Alrighty.
And our next item, I have the report for the 8 months ended February 28th. Receipts, 27.7 million. Expenditures, 26.8. Adding in our fund balance as of June 30th of 29.9, bringing us to a balance of 30.8. I also have the revenues and expenses attached. I do want to go over one item with you. So in the revenue section, if you turn to page 3, and we're looking at the jail fund. At the top of the page, if you will look at account number 03, it's the third one down, 03-4537-399, the SAP program. We budgeted 1.2 million. Earlier, our jailer explained that budget number was based on working its way up to full capacity. Of course, they're not there. So I just want to make you aware, if you look at revenue, we've received 140. So I expect a shortfall of probably around 900,000 there, which means we will be transferring that in from the general fund. So I'm not going to do it until we need it, but I want to make you aware of that.
Alrighty, any questions for Amy on the treasurer's report? Scar Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. And I'm sorry, my question is back to tab 13.
Okay.
I apologize, Madam Treasurer. This probably will be for the fire chief. The apparatus that will be replaced, sometimes we've had a practice here in Franklin County of maintaining the old apparatus for a little longer to be able to use that at another station. Is that the plan, or do we plan to surplus that?
So we will be surplusing some of the older reserves we have.
Yeah.
So for ISO, we have to keep so many reserves on staff.
Right. I'm
So
just trying to go through the process.
The older
People who don't know.
white international commercial cab trucks is what we'll be looking at surplusing once we get this truck in service.
Okay.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thanks.
Good question. Yep. Alrighty. Amy, as always, we thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Next is payment of claims. Does anybody have any questions for Kim on payment of claims? Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. I do, it'll be on page 5, and the account number is 019100332. It's in regard to CDL exam. Do we get a portion of this CDL exam refunded to us if someone separates from service of the exam? So who can answer that?
I mean, Ashley's not here, but yes, it's my understanding that they sign a piece of paper that they say if they leave within 12 months, then they have to reimburse us for any money that we have spent to help them get a CDL.
So how does that, and I don't know how that process works. Do we bill them? Do we, how?
I'm not sure. I mean, Ashley's done it. I'm not sure
Okay.
because there's some legality things there, how it's done, but I do know the employees sign a piece of paper as they're hired, basically stating that they will stay with us for a certain amount of time. 3 years?
Yeah.
3 years, and I think it's kind of prorated or something, so yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
it's all
Yep.
those things.
Yep.
I do
Yep.
know, but I'm asking
Yeah.
this for just a wider.
Yeah, perfect. No,
purpose.
it's a good question.
So we can get that information
Yeah,
from.
Ashley should have it, no
Okay.
problem.
Thank you.
Yep, no. Alrighty, seeing no more questions, I am going to, authorization to go into closed session per KRS 61.8101CF. Discussions of proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of a public agency. Discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, and dismissal of an individual employee.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Thank you, court. We are in closed. have a motion to open, go back into open court?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We are in open court. Thank you. All right, the next one, I believe our county attorney is going to get up and present to us. Good evening, Mr. County Attorney. Hope you're doing well tonight.
I'm doing fantastic
Good to
tonight.
see you here.
It's a little odd standing on this side of that wall. This is the request for a performance raise for an employee in my office. Currently, her hourly rate is $21.57 per hour, and I'm asking that to go up to $25 an hour. As a little bit of background, before the budget process last year, and when I came in, I requested the ability to give this an employee a raise, as I knew I was having an employee that was going to be leaving me soon. I had an employee that retired after 27 years at the end of December. I knew that was coming, and so to try to build some cushion into my budget and to be able to reward this person for then stepping into this other individual's job duties and taking on more tasks, I thought it was appropriate to give a raise. I waited until that employee retired. I could have come months ago, but I waited. And so I have been without at least one employee that I previously had now for 3 months, getting ready to go on 4. I haven't started to advertise for that other position yet, so I've got 2 staff members in the office that are now doing the job duties of 3, like I said. And so what I'm asking, it looks like it has a budget impact of $18,750, which is within my budget and was previously approved in the last budget that I had. So if there's any questions for me on this one.
Question for county attorney on his request. All
And
right.
even if I fill that other position, I will still be within my budget, as I have built-in safeguards and cushions by not immediately hiring employees when one leaves.
Microphone, please.
I was trying to do quick math there, but that's inclusive of benefits, the
Correct.
1875? Just want to make sure. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Does this position ever have overtime? No.
No.
All righty. Thank you, Max. No, Jack got it up here, Greg. I thought he was gonna hop over the wall.
I will catch a toad.
Yeah.
All y'all can see it, my feet.
Yep. All righty. Chief Brewer, looks like you'd like to hire a new firefighter?
Yes, Judge, in the court. We had a firefighter resign back in January. We just completed our new hiring process, been certified by HR, and we're requesting authorization to hire this person as firefighter pending their drug screening and physical.
All righty. Any questions for the chief on this hire? Seeing none. Next one. Oh, I'm sorry. Squire Blackburn.
I just want to say I'm glad to see that we have a list of applicants instead of 2, 3.
Yep.
And we have a pool that's growing, and it's good to see. I know when I first came on, we had a big pool, and then it waned, and now it's back up, and it's good to see.
Yeah, the pay increases seem to really help the application. I think we ended up with 39 applications during this process, which is quite a bit more than we've had the last few processes, so it's definitely helping.
All righty. Next agenda item.
Next item is authorization to purchase a UTV for the fire department. So the fire department has to prepare for all types of fire and emergency response. One of the big ones, especially this time of year, we're currently in the spring forest fire hazard season. So we utilize UTVs with pumps and tanks on the back of them to access remote areas. While preparing for the fiscal year 2026 budget, I was doing some price checking, calling around and getting some ideas on what the pricing would be. I was made aware that there's a program this month through the Kentucky Flood Support program through Polaris that offers a $5,000 discount to local agencies on these UTVs that expires March 31st. So with knowing we're planning to budget for one in the upcoming budget, it seemed feasible to make that request. It's almost a third of the cost of the unit to go ahead and try to address it now. And then if approved by the court, we were to make this purchase this month, then I would just reduce my budget by that much for next fiscal year. We would be able to utilize, my budget's going to have funding to upfit a new tank for that specific unit. However, we can get by with the tank that's currently in our Gator right now. I've talked to Park Director Lewis, and he said that he could utilize the current Gator. They're all three just 20-plus years old, and it's time to look at replacing them for the emergency service side of it.
Are you gonna surplus one of the ones you have, or both of them, or what?
So, I've talked to Charlie Lewis at the park, and he said that he would have a use for it if the court was good with transitioning it over there. I'm not sure if that would, entail him surplusing a piece of equipment or not, but
You're just gonna do one of the three though.
yes, the one that we would be replacing with this new unit, is what we would send over to the park.
Is it the old tandem axle?
Yes, old Gator 5, so it's the one actually with the most hours as well.
Squire Westman.
Chief, you have this apparatus that's sold at the surplus auction for $10,500 that you're wanting to apply to that. Is that the hammer price that fell on that, or is that the net price that we're going to get from that sale? Do you know what the
I believe that's the hammer price. I don't believe that's minus any buyer fees or anything like that.
25%?
We had, I don't know what all the total equipment was. I just know the sale.
Premium that should take care
That's
of
on
that.
top, no, the percentage that the auction charged, I thought it was a 10 or 25, I can't remember.
We're still waiting on all the paperwork. for
Wondering
that,
if we
so
had
Trying
that
to
yet.
figure that out. And then one of the things Amy said she would like to do is kind of divvy up as far as what was auctioned, and like Chief said, he could
'Cause we
kind of
have-
put this towards that if the court so, no different than things that the park might have had in there, they could be credited a little bit of
I think
money
that's
for
fitting to
consolidations.
do that.
Because we had that in another vehicle as well, and some other equipment that I believe everything sold, so.
It was a good sale. Any other questions for the chief on this agenda item? Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, other business. Anybody have any other business before we go into our voting session?
Is now the proper time to make a motion to amend their agenda?
No, we'll wait.
We have to make it in voting session.
Yeah, we gotta make it once we get into voting session. So if you don't mind, we'll just do it at the end. So as soon as we get to the last one, I'll look at you all for a motion. If that's okay. Squire Sebastian?
Okay with me.
Thank you, Judge. Want to make sure that everyone has seen the information that has come out from the court in regard to Easter at Lakeview Park. The date is April 12th. The activity will start at 1. Certainly volunteers and all the individuals and collaborative groups know to be there earlier. The rain date for that will be on the 19th. So just make sure you have it on your calendars for everybody to be there.
Will that be sent out anyway, or will you just tell us?
Social media, social media, hopefully.
I think,
I just want to make sure.
our IT coordinator updated the information on social media, and I thought had sent something out to everybody so they could get the graphic to share that out with their
I got it. I
constituents.
just want to make sure.
Okay,
everybody got it.
but I just,
Yep, no,
Just sharing that
it's a
for
good
that-
call.
for that reason.
Absolutely.
Nothing was sent out to any of us. I only saw it on email. So could you send us the graphic and the particular details so we can communicate that better to everyone?
Yep, absolutely.
You realize that's the opening day of turkey season, though.
Richard's not going to be there.
All righty. Clerk, let's go ahead and go into the voting session. Clerk, please call roll.
Squire Sebastian.
Here.
Squire Blackburn.
Present.
Squire Dykus.
Here.
Squire Harrod.
Here.
Squire Tanner.
Here.
Squire Wisman.
Present.
Judge Mueller.
Present. Thank you, clerk.
Judge, may I make a motion to amend the agenda for our special meeting minutes
Okay.
on March 11th? To add that?
Okay, so the first motion would be just to add it to the agenda?
Yes, sir.
All righty. All those in favor? Second? Did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Go ahead, Squire Blackburn.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to authorize to amend the purchase of 2 horizontal fire guard thermally insulated above-ground fuel storage tanks.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
Judge, can I speak?
Please.
I need someone to actually motion to authorize to approve the minutes from the special meeting of March the 11th,
We need
2025.
But,
I thought she did.
You amended the agenda
correct,
to,
but we haven't gotten to vote on any
Yeah.
item. We're just amending the agenda right now.
okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
that'll
fine.
be
She just
the-
wants to make sure we didn't miss it. I have it at the end of
I
mine.
promise.
No, it's all
I
good.
will miss it.
Okay.
No, clerk, you're right. It's all good. We're on the same page now. Thank you, Squires, for that. Okay, authorization for approval of minutes from the regular meeting of February 26, 2025.
As amended. Remember, they were amended. She noted at the beginning of the
Okay.
work session that they were going to be
Gotcha, I
amended.
missed that one. I had the
And-
jail
and
one as amended, but yeah.
Shared that information.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to
Just
receive.
say nay again. We had lots of public comments. We have lots of information that's discussed in work sessions. And this is absolutely no slight against our clerk, but I just want to see more documentation of what we were discussing
Okay.
for future reference. We have questions that come up all the time about what was the intent of the court when this contract was looked at originally and when it was discussed. We can do more there somehow. I just.
Clerk, did you get that?
Yes.
All righty. Authorization to receive the 2025-2026 proposed jail budget as amended.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the Farmdale Sanitation District audit financial statements for the years ending June 30th, 2024 and 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive Capital Community Economic Industrial Development Authority, DBA Kentucky Capital Development Corporation fiscal year 2025-2026 budget.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the county judge executive to make application for, upon arrival, to enter into agreement with the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security, KOHS, to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by KOHS to facilitate and administer the project and act as the authorized correspondent of this project.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the filing of an application for 2025-2026 Household Hazardous Waste Management Grant Funds with the Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet Division of Waste Management.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. It passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the filing of an application for 2025-2026 Kentucky Pride Fund composting grant funds with the Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet Division of Waste Management.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the filing of an application for 2025-2026 Kentucky Pride Fund recycling grant funds with the Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet Division of Waste.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. This is the first reading and approval of ordinance amending the table of special ordinances, Section 1, zoning map changes of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances for a 2.94 acre property located at 2440 Stedmantown Lane from Agricultural District AG to Rural Residential RR. The property is identified as PVA map number 083-00-00-037.02. No vote at this time. Vote will be in our next meeting. This is the second reading and approval of an ordinance amending the Franklin County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 155, Sections 155.10, definitions, Section 155.085, table of permitted uses, and Section 155.089, noted special conditions regarding the regulation of medical cannabis businesses in the zone ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve budget transfers for fiscal year 2024-2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve cash transfers for fiscal year 2024-2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Payment of claims. Is there a motion to deny any claim? No motion was made. Let the record reflect claims are to be paid. Authorization to approve a performance-based pay increase for Ashley Bastin, Administrative Assistant with the County Attorney's Office, effective pay period beginning March 23, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to hire John Allen Engel as firefighter.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second. Second.
Did you get that, clerk?
Dykus and Wissman.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to purchase a utility terrain vehicle, UTV, for wildland fire suppression response.
So moved.
Second. Doesn't matter.
Question on the motion, should it spell out what was bid, what, the brand, et cetera, or not?
It doesn't have to.
Okay.
More information's good always.
We don't own any vehicles we buy.
Yeah.
We don't put that we're buying a Ford, whatever. So uniform,
Yeah.
whatever we do.
All right, did I have a motion?
Yes.
So moved.
You did,
And a
Mike
second.
and JW.
And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Thank you. Authorization to approve the minutes from the special meeting of Committee of the Whole of March 11, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay, Judge, I'd like to just explain once again. If I may, we had a 2-hour discussion at that meeting, lots of things discussed, lots of things noted. For example, that the contractor didn't have the finalized plans or blueprints for the concession stands and other questions. Again, I just think we need more information to inform future us, whoever serves in our seats, when they go back to look at some of these things. So I don't know how we do that, but I keep asking.
Okay. Did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
Alrighty. Authorization to approve the amended purchase price of 2 horizontal fire guard thermally insulated above-ground fuel storage tanks.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We are adjourned.